My name's David Allen Hall. I was the writer, director, and editor of this film. I also played the part of Brother Itch.
And I'm Brian Brooks. I was the executive producer and also played the part of Brother Rancor.
And it's the middle of March, exactly 20 years to the week that we filmed this movie, and we're here in Fort Worth, Texas to do the commentary. We put this disclaimer that it's in black and white at the beginning so people wouldn't be trying to turn up the color on their TV, I guess, Brian.
Yeah, I think that's why.
So
remember this old generator to make these credits?
Yes, that was at TCU, and it's on its last legs, it looks like.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
So here we have fading in David Whitley and Danny Diaz playing Go Fish.
First day of filming, actually.
Yes,
yeah,
first scene.
First scene.
And you can see the shadow of the cameraman, Chris Freeland, there on the wall to the left of Whitley's ear there.
There's the Dr. and Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that Whitley had
hard time
had an issue with.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
actually, I thought Danny did a great job too in this movie. They really gave their heart and soul for this movie.
Yeah, they did. They weren't actors.
No.
But they did it, and they did it cheerfully and showed up every day. So one of the things I'm most proud of, all the films we did, we never had anybody not show up.
Yeah.
Everyone showed up and always gave their all.
Yeah.
So.
And your parents too. They gave up their house for.
That's
quite
right.
And
as you'll see in a moment, the garage suffered a severe blow. We'll show you when that happens. It's coming up, but this is a scene I think maybe goes on a little too long as I look at it 20 years later. But
well, I don't know. I mean, it basically sets up the rest of the film, though.
That's true, but I wanted to move faster, I guess, as I look back on it. But this is a neat effect. Here we go. The boring part's over for now.
Yeah. I remember when you came up with that effect, right? In the office with the video camera pointed at the TV.
And that's a nice effect there on the table blowing.
I'm over on the left with the blower. You can see the shadow there for just a moment. And,
right there was a hole knocked in the sheetrock. You can see it to the right of the screen here. My mom just had a cow.
Yeah, I imagine.
And my dad just laughed. He thought it was funny. So you can see the hole coming up here.
Who's that? Who was doing the smoker? Was that
my
Danny?
brother was
Danny
on the. My brother was on the smoker.
Yeah, I was on the blower, and the ropes for the table were, I think, Chris.
And here we are with the Atari game sticks.
Yes, and the Panasonic editing.
That's right.
Console there.
That actually was used to cut the movie.
Yeah. There's our little legs.
And,
and
this was shot with a old style Vidicon tube. So we made the decision to make it in black and white for two reasons. One, because the color didn't hold up very well, and two, because it was shadow games, I suppose.
What did we use? Smith Victor lights?
Yeah, we had two
Smith Victor
like
lights.
600 watt Smith Victor lights, and a couple of cheap peanut mics that were clipped onto our shirts. And that was it. And
there's Brother Itch, Brother Rancor.
Brother Rancor, yes. And there's that controller.
Yeah. And Whitley and Danny spent a lot of time that morning coming up with that fight.
That's right.
And it's amazing we got as much done in that one day as we did. Right?
Yeah, and in this scene, you can't see it on camera, but when Druann comes in and grabs his wrist and Whitley drops the knife, it actually cuts him. The tip of it falls on him and cuts him.
Oh, really?
And
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he started bleeding right after that take. Right there.
Right there.
And Druann kept going, so she saved that for us.
Yeah.
But, it's...
Boy, remember getting our hair teased for that shooting?
Yep.
That hurt.
That hurt, yeah. Then we had to redo it twice.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the backgrounds, I guess, a little later. But the first background we tried to use was cardboard. It looked terrible.
Yeah,
so
it's too shiny.
But the monitor was turned down. The darkness on it was turned down. We couldn't tell.
Yeah.
We thought it looked great until we saw it on the studio monitor. Yep, there's our flash.
Disappearing effect.
And
that was the line I had a lot of trouble with right there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It took several takes, but we got through it.
But I think we're moving on. This was just Danny Diaz threw a flower in the stream when we were walking to the park, and somebody taped it, and I needed some filler because I like the music here.
Yeah.
And
then we cut to, this is actually down at the farm, isn't it?
This is the farm, but we had to, we used a camera flash here and then cut to him appearing. And that's at the farm, but when we cut to this close shot, when they walk off frame, we're actually at Kellis Kelly Park
or
or
Westcliff Park, or
No.
back. No, it's back off from the back. They're off Westcliff Park. Right?
yeah, Kellis or Kelly Park or something
Yeah,
like
we
that.
walked down the bicycle path down there to this field.
Right, and Chris was on the B camera, and I was
Yeah.
on the A camera. Were you even there that day we shot this?
I think, yeah, I was there that day, I believe.
And,
Yeah, because I took the picture of you with the bullhorn.
Yeah, that's right.
Drew ran that day.
And this is a scene I would dearly love to cut. Yeah.
Well,
I think it goes on too long, and the exposition's probably not that necessary, but it's in the movie, so
Yeah, it's
here we
there.
are.
So,
But, you know, we were, teenagers, and
yeah.
we thought we needed more exposition than we really maybe needed. I don't know. I just see people when they're watching this scene, and their attention starts to stray.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. At least I think it does.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just because we see it and they don't. Maybe
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
My mind was at ease.
But
But Drew Ann did a great job too, right? This was
Yeah.
her first, wasn't this her
Yeah.
first film to actually work on?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And,
along with everybody else. And,
I lost touch with her several years ago, but last I heard, she was on an episode of a TV series and was living in Pasadena, but I don't know what happened to her. But we all know David Whitley, unfortunately, was tragically lost in 1993 to a car accident. He was coming home one night from a set in Austin, and he was lost, so his loss is felt.
Yes, it was.
And don't know what happened to Danny Diaz.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's talked to
Yeah,
him.
I haven't talked to him and don't know, but
I won't be able to resist their control.
anyway,
Well, they're still talking.
they're still talking, and so are we.
Yes.
As soon as this scene's over, it'll get more interesting
Yes,
immediately.
I think so.
I think if I do a special edition, this scene will be snipped
It'll be
out.
snipped.
I used to
Yeah.
But we'll still have the original.
We'll still have the original version, yes. And
through this moment, Rancor and
so
its
they're still going.
Yeah,
I'm
they
telling
are
you,
still
this scene's
going.
too long, man. Yeah.
But at least we filmed this at the park and not down at the farm
Yeah,
where it was
yeah.
freezing cold. Right?
Well, we originally did film it at the farm,
Yeah, and it was
and the sound wasn't very
Yeah,
good or
sound
something. And we
had to
Yeah,
reshoot it.
reshoot it. I think we rewrote it and made it longer.
Yeah, you have refreshed my memory.
Yeah. So they're still talking,
Yeah, they are still talking.
and
Brother Chastity here.
I don't really know what
I
we
don't
can
know
say
what else
much
to say.
about this,
No.
except it goes on a good bit here. I think
Well,
I think it's almost over. She's telling them about, it's a morality play, so she's
Yeah.
telling them about morality.
yeah,
True, my love.
And
It's nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm sure Rancor Nitch will have something to say about that in a
when they
moment,
come on
too.
here in a moment. So anyway, I was on that camera,
Because the longer you
and
shadow
no, I think I was on the other camera. Yeah, I was on the other camera. Chris was on that camera. Chris Freeland was the second unit. I was on that camera. Yeah. And so here we go. We're going to switch back one more cut, and then we're going to go to Rancor and Itch. And they're coming up right about now. There's a scene from Wrath of Khan
Yeah.
when Kirk screams,
There's
There's
The
the
Office.
office. Yeah,
There
that's
it
where we
is.
edited the movie. That's Wrath of Khan, the Genesis Cave.
Yeah.
And there they
There
are.
they
Now
are.
that's at the farm.
Yeah, that's at the farm. Yeah.
So,
Very cold day.
yeah, it was very cold. And
It's amazing how we got the continuity, shooting in two different locations
Yeah,
and with
and,
the TV, and it just
right.
it worked out really well.
my mom's going to get rid of that TV tomorrow. She's still got
Yeah, I
it
know.
25 years later.
I'm glad I got to see it.
Yeah, we went shopping for a new TV today, so we got that TV in 1979. So anyway, these were fun characters to
Yeah,
play.
they
They were
were.
kind of a spin-off of our Captain Triangle. Well, at
Yeah.
least Rancor was.
Rancor was, yeah. Itch is a little
It's just
more,
kind of a, I don't know,
yeah, where he came from.
just kind of a spin-off of Rancor, you know.
Yeah.
Now this is straight out of Star Trek here.
Yeah.
When they make Kirk pray, the
Yeah.
Plutonians and all that. I mean, we just totally ripped this off. You know? But it works.
Yeah, it does work. Yeah.
Somebody called me up and they were watching the movie channel and they saw this. This was the scene they used to advertise.
Oh,
Shooting
really?
Games. Yeah,
That one? Wow.
with them dropping to their knees and
Yeah.
praying. You know, when it was on the movie channel.
Yeah.
So when you see them shivering, they're really shivering
Yeah, they
because it
are
was
shivering.
cold.
We had a blanket on them all the time when they
Right.
weren't shooting. Right? It was
So
middle of March in Texas, and it was cold.
it was. It doesn't look that cold, but
No.
and there's Drew Ann.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never really doubted when we were, shooting it that it was all going to match up, and
Yeah.
I don't think we really had to reshoot anything because of
I demand that you
lack
For
of continuity.
no,
Yeah,
everything came together really well.
just kind of did it and
Yeah.
got away with it.
What was it? 4 days of total shooting, or 5?
One day,
1 day at the
In the garage.
1 day at the farm,
1 day at the farm, and then 2 days
2 days for Rancorn Edge.
because it would have been 3 days of shooting, but we had to reshoot because of the
Yeah.
background. So this background that's black now that
Yeah.
looks decent originally didn't look that way.
Yeah.
So if you watch the documentary that's on this DVD, there's some shots of the cardboard backgrounds that look pretty awful. So
Yeah.
we had to reshoot everything
Everything from that first
from
day.
Rancorn Edge. Yeah.
please.
Yeah. So
It looks like Sophia's going to try to go away again here soon.
yeah, and I think somewhere in here she tries to beam him out again, or did she already try to do that?
But she's too weak. I can't remember.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's where they tied him to the tree, right?
Okay.
I think it's
Yeah.
coming up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it is. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
this
she
is the
tries to
sound
do it.
of Luke's lightsaber in Star Wars reversed and reverberated
Oh, really?
when they try to beam out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when he's training with Obi-Wan on the Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we had to do some pickup shots. If you'll notice, I have a beard there,
Yeah, and you did.
but in some of the other shots, I don't.
I didn't, yeah.
So I think we had to do 3 days of shooting, one that we reshot, and then a principal day, and then one more day of pickups for Rancorn Edge.
Then that reshoot day, we didn't have Suzanne there to keep our
Yeah.
noses on all day. And
Suzanne E. Thompson, the
yeah,
makeup
Suzanne
artist.
Thompson,
Now this tree just seems to never get there.
Yeah.
Look, here they go, and
yeah.
they're back
Mysteriously
to
keeps moving away.
Yeah, they just
yeah.
can't seem to get to that tree, but
Yeah. Well, they eventually get
they
there.
eventually do get there.
Yeah.
Here we are, and here's a music cue from the Twilight Zone movie. We just took music wherever we could find it, didn't we?
well, Whatever works, right?
That was one of the reasons that the movie channel couldn't show the film repeatedly because they only had the music rights for the festival, or
Oh.
because it was a winning entry. They
Yeah.
could they could
Only
show it, but
once or
I think they showed it 2 or 3
2 or
times,
3 times, but only for the festival.
but only for that week.
Yeah.
So a lot of people said, why don't they re-show it? Well, that's why, because the music rights would be too much money.
Yeah.
That's what I was told. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think they're getting ready to try and execute Sophia here. What's your favorite scene in the film?
My favorite scene is, well, it's towards the end there.
Okay, we can talk
Yeah.
about when it comes.
Yeah.
No, Druin had rope burns after
Oh,
this.
did she?
Yep.
She actually took a lot of injuries. She fell.
She did. She
and
fell, and
got
she had
rope
rope
burn,
burns. And
froze. And,
if you watch her, when it looks like they're looping the rope around her waist, if you watch that, they're really
yeah,
pulling
they
it
really
tight.
cinched it tight.
Now this is neat when you
Yeah.
you're kicking there.
Yeah, that was hard to do
Yeah,
without
without-
having
without
the leg
showing
fall
the leg,
off. And,
yeah.
yeah.
But it worked out. It worked
Yeah,
out
it
pretty
really
well.
well. Yeah.
The whole reason that I would want to do a commentary like this would be to give credit to people that normally wouldn't get the credit, or
Yeah.
to to say a word for people that were behind the scenes
Yeah,
that really
that's
don't
true.
get the credit.
Yeah.
That we couldn't have made the
Yeah.
film without. Because nobody got paid
No. Everybody gave up a spring break
Right,
to do this.
to do this,
Yeah.
and so
That was a good.
that's
that
a
was
good gag right
addition,
there. That
yeah.
always gets a laugh right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. He says he hates her more than I do because you're hate, right?
Yeah, I hate. Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm the id. I'm lust,
Yeah.
and I want her.
That makeup around your eyes was really good. 'cause
Yeah. That was the original day of shooting
Yeah.
right there. I mean, look at my hair, the way it's
Mhm.
teased. And I've got that growth on my chin. And if you
Yeah.
look later, some of that's not there.
Oh, really?
Oh, the hair's a lot shorter. The growth is gone.
Oh, you got your hair cut.
We had to come and do pickups
Yeah.
for some of these lines. And if you'll watch my collar, it gets buttoned and unbuttoned occasionally.
Yeah.
So, as far as I know, that's the only
That's the only.
discontinuity in the
Yeah.
film that I've been able to
And I
find.
didn't notice it till you picked it up and you
Yeah.
pointed it out to me.
So here's a nice cue from Planet of the Apes,
Yeah.
courtesy of Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah. This is a pretty good fight scene, though, too.
Yeah, well, it's right out of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Remember when they're fighting for the Uplanista or the Kirk? Yeah. So we stole that from Star Trek too, and people recognize that right away. They go,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's from Star Trek." But so what?
Yeah, there's where you can see the rope cinched
Right.
around.
And this hit on the head here, that's from Raiders when Miriam hits Indy in the bar.
Yeah.
We used that sock several times. Yeah.
But Danny and David certainly did give it their all in those fights.
They sure did. Yeah, they sure did.
Sacrifice their bodies.
Now here's
and
where my
everything.
collar's unbuttoned, and
Yeah.
then when we go to the tight shot on me, it's miraculously buttoned again. Yeah. That's where it's most noticeable right there. It's unbuttoned there, and then it's when you go back to me, it's buttoned.
It was all part of the plan.
Oh yes, I quickly unbuttoned it, so we'd have something to talk about on
Yes,
this commentary.
That's right. Yeah. So people would wonder, what's the special significance of this? Yes. What does it mean?
But
Um,
here's a music cue from Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
courtesy of John Williams. And
this is a pretty important scene, though, because it kind of reinforces the four sides of her personality.
right. And she kept saying, "Dave, when am I going to get to spit this cigarette out?"
Yeah,
You know?
she wasn't much.
Yeah,
she wasn't too happy about.
And
the
she was
cigarette.
right. I never even thought about it.
Yeah.
She says, "Look, I got to spit this." Now this shot of you right there, that's the original day.
Yeah,
So if you freeze that, you can see the original backgrounds, and your makeup was
yeah.
a lot different that day too. Yeah.
Yeah, we only had Suzanne scheduled one day. Right? She had
One
to go
day,
to work
and-
the next day, and
And she was kind enough to donate her time and
yeah,
makeup materials.
yeah.
And this is where you get a line from all four of the principals. That's true, and you're a little out of
Little
focus
soft,
there.
yeah.
You're a little soft on
Little
that one,
soft,
Brian.
yeah.
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 So there's the video controller, Whitley's nunchucks,
Infamous nunchucks.
and the switchblade.
Yeah,
Now see, that's a different day
yeah,
there.
it's a different day.
Yeah. And this is a great music
Yeah.
cue from Planet of the Apes. This whole movie, in a lot of ways, was written to the score in my mind, and then
Yeah.
I would just shoot it and edit it to the music, and the music made sure that the tempo of the scenes would be
Keep.
maintained. You know.
They did
So-
a lot of running that day too.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
It was a good thing we had the farm, though, right? We just
Yeah,
go
that
down there and
was
have our own
recently sold
private-
to my aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
So they're going to move down there and build a house and
Wow.
retire. I haven't been down there in years. It's probably all grown up.
Yeah. The pit's still there, I guess.
I'm sure, yeah. The gravel pit where a lot of these scenes were filmed. And so that's
was
a
a good
moving
shot,
shot that
yeah.
Whitley got on his own. He went out with Danny Diaz, and
Yeah.
if you see any real camera movement, chances are
It's Whitley.
it was Whitley.
Yeah.
You know, he was the one that always seemed to get the really neat shot or
Yeah.
the moving camera. That's a neat kick on my leg
Mhm.
there. And this is just a random shot of Whitley jumping, so it'll match the music.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the continuity of the chase scene.
But it all
But-
works.
yeah, it all works.
together.
Look
Here
at
we
the expression in Whitley's face.
Yeah.
You know, this is just great.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, when he runs by the camera. This is dubbed, but it's dubbed pretty well. See,
Yeah.
you can tell the difference in the makeup. Look at
Mhm.
it. It's not as rough somehow,
No.
but
Here's where you get kicked in the
Yeah,
head
kicked
and
in the head.
the takes. But,
I love the one when they're all, I say action, and they're all holding hands
Holding
and run up
hands, they
dancing to the
skipping, yeah.
camera. Yeah, that
yeah, that was a good
was
one.
fun when I was down on the frozen ground there. But
Well,
everybody kept it light.
Yeah, considering the weather, everybody had good
Yeah,
spirits
had good
all day.
spirits.
We were
I
all
was just
exhausted.
worried about the battery running. You know, we only had that one camera battery. Now this is a great.
This is my favorite part here.
Yeah.
So they go off into the.
I mean, I've done several other films and things, and I was telling you earlier, this is one of the sequences
Yeah.
that I'm most proud of. It just works.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And,
Right here, this whole sequence here is my favorite part.
This master shot, and then you go
And
into
then
the
you go into
to the point of view shots.
Point of view
Yeah,
shots. That's all my favorite.
this is nice
This is
moment
good,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Danny Diaz and David Whitley did a great job.
Yeah, they did.
He starts flinging those nunchucks around.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
He doesn't look that close. That was me with the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he was close. You can see a snake hole in the wall up there. If you look really close. Yeah. I think this is where the movie really starts to come together.
Yeah.
When Danny Diaz stabs himself right here and just goes, and then you see the connection between him and one of the Shadow Brothers. Yeah, the blood here could have been done a lot better. Yeah, but
it was a good death scene though, Dave.
yeah, it was a good death scene.
Good death scene.
I remember when you would get the poker and I was trying to lay there and you would poke me and I would jump. Remember that?
Yeah.
And we couldn't get the scene. You'd have to poke me and then we'd start the camera.
Yeah.
Because I would jump.
I think I started poking you in the arm too.
Maybe that was it. Yeah.
If I poked you in the
there's
in
that
the
nice
side.
Vidicon tube leaving the trails there. See that? Cringe when I see that.
Oh,
But and this is the shot that always gets everybody when he throws the gun.
yeah, this is one
Through the
of the best
right
scenes
there,
in there, right
yeah.
there.
and
Yeah, it's sort of unexpected too, right?
Yeah.
Nothing like that's happened in the whole movie.
and this is just so well done by Whitley,
Yeah.
and you did I thought you did a nice job of getting the tension up and saying, killer, killer, killer.
Yeah.
So, for not liking to be in front of the camera, pulled it off okay. Yeah. I love this expression of yours right here. Well, there's Whitley. See the bullet hole on his shirt? There's that expression of yours. I love
don't
that.
know how that happened.
He got a bullet hole in front of his shirt, so
And later it's
later he has to flip the shirt around, and the bullet hole's in the back, but you can't see it.
yeah.
Chris Freeland was pointing that out to us earlier.
Yeah, he
He
did
mentioned
say
that
something
when we
about
did the
that.
commentary.
Yeah.
And Chris did this shot of Whitley
Yeah.
crawling. He's screaming, he's crawling and going. He's supposed to be saying Rancor, and he's saying cow shit.
Yeah.
Because he's having to crawl through it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what he's saying. He's
That's-
crawling through it.
That was Whitley. Saying things like that.
Yeah, right in the middle of a tank. you
Yeah.
know. Hey, that's what the guy said.
Yeah. That's what he said.
But there weren't any cows down there.
No.
Maybe, I don't know.
Not in the pit. There wouldn't be any cows, I don't think. But you
There was
never know.
something down there he was
Yeah.
crawling through. I don't know what it was. But, yeah.
Now this is not one of the.
Yeah,
finer
this is a
moments
little
of-
rubbery dubbing here, but
Oh no, the dubbing's all right.
it's a little rubbery right there
Is it?
with it, yeah.
Oh,
Always bugged me, but
okay. Yeah.
this is a scene you have a hard time
Yeah,
watching.
this wasn't one of the finer moments here.
Well, we're not actors,
That's
Brian.
true. That is true.
Never claimed to be an
Yeah.
actor.
That is true.
But, yeah, I thought that looked okay as a blood effect.
Yeah, that was pretty good blood effect.
But,
Yeah, when I watch this scene with other people, I
You just
kinda-
wanna crawl in a
kinda
hole
put my
and-
head down and put my chin on my chest and
and just get through it.
get
huh?
through it. Yeah,
Well, you can't cut it because
No.
it's there.
pretty crucial.
Somebody wanted to know if there was any significance that he pushes the exit button.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
And all I can say is
Yeah,
there's symbolism all through this film. I mean,
it's all
you
over
know.
the place.
Now this is where Whitley had to flip his shirt around
Yeah.
because we'd already filmed the scene where he got shot, and he only brought one shirt.
Yeah,
So there he goes, no more bullet hole, and
and it's also the end of the day. The battery's running out,
Right.
right? And they're extremely tired at
Right.
this point.
and if you watch closely here in this shot, I was operating this next shot. Now look at the trees. The wind's going to start to blow, and it nearly blows me over, and you can see the camera shake.
Yeah.
Right about there. Yeah, the
All
wind
of a
released. You can see it on Whitley's shirt.
Yeah,
Nearly blew me over, but I think that was the best take we had. So
yeah, that's what we have.
I
to
always
use.
cringe when you cringe when you see that scene. I cringe when I see that shot. But
The other hard part was getting this dubbing correctly, right? We're running, he's
right.
speaking in my voice, and then
right, that shot
eventually-
of Diaz laying on the ground there is overexposed. But I think I'm the only
once
one.
again, it's the artifact.
Yeah, that's right. See, that's overexposed.
Yeah.
But anyway,
This was one of the funniest parts of this day right here. Whenever Whitley picks up Danny Diaz and tries to carry him here in a second. That's the funniest.
yeah, side twitch. Now, when he throws the knife, that's the sound right there. That's the sound of Indiana Jones cocking the gun when they're on the submarine, and he wakes up in the morning and says, she says, engine just stopped. I'm gonna go check. And I used that 3 or 4 times in this picture.
Did you?
This is funny.
Yeah.
Whitley picks up Diaz,
Carries him.
carries him 10 feet, and puts him down. People want to
Why?
know why.
Why?
Well, it's symbolic, man. He's moving from one side of the brain to the other.
To the other, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that obvious?
Yeah. It's funny for me because I remember that day, and Whitley was having trouble carrying him
Right.
'cause he
You
was
can
so
see that in the
tired.
documentary, yeah. So, this was some good dubbing y'all did.
Yeah. It's
Even
true.
Joanne had to dub this because of the wind. The
Yeah.
wind was blowing. She would dip down out of frame right there,
Mm-hmm.
and always had to remember to come up to say that line. Her natural tendency was wanting to go down and then
down.
say the line, and we had to do that a few times, but she finally got it. That was the only trouble she had with
Yeah.
any line. I remember,
I can't.
but I remember that the battery was
Battery
getting
was
low,
getting
and
critical.
it was getting critical.
Maybe if we try together.
Plus, we were getting close to losing daylight,
Right.
too, weren't we? It was starting to get
This
late
was
in the
all
day.
shot in one day.
Yeah.
Where do we have that energy, Brian?
I
I mean,
don't
do you
know.
still have that kind of energy?
I
Could you
don't-
do that? I mean,
I don't know, David.
I don't know, man. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Nice music cue there.
Danny's back. Not with his voice. He's back.
Yeah.
They're brushing him off.
Brushing them off.
Yeah. They were having a lot of fun. They were kind of, they were getting so tired, they were getting a little silly at this point.
Yeah,
weren't they?
well, you can't really.
They were having a lot of fun
In
there.
this
at the end of
next
the day.
shot, when they walk off,
Yeah.
they were actually singing a drinking song.
Yeah.
And other lyrics that I won't repeat here.
No. Good idea.
Yeah. So I always wished that I could have found some way to merge them together right here.
Oh, yeah. That
You know,
would be
make 'em
good.
into one.
Have Danny and
You know,
David
Whitley
just
merge into Sophia.
Yeah.
But
But that sort of,
yeah, I
Gives
mean,
you the
the
idea.
Shadow Brothers are gone.
yeah.
So there you go.
Here you go. Yeah.
Well,
All the,
we're back together here
Yeah.
after I don't know how many years. And
20
did
years.
this commentary, and
still as good as it was the day
Yeah.
we made it, right? Still the same.
it holds up.
Yeah, it
I mean,
does.
we were teenagers when we made this.
Alan Daniel.
He was a friend of Chris Freeland's.
Yeah, he helped us on quite a few movies.
Quite a few movies, yep.
And Gwen was,
Gwen was Danny Diaz's wife. There's my dad, Franklin Hall. My brother, Dan Hall. And then, of course, we have to thank all the music folks.
yeah.
Trevor Jones did the Dark Crystal soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
And actually, I think there's a typo here in the credits. Filmed in Tyrery on location. I think, let's see. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie.
Oh,
I
okay.
think there is a, one of the dates is missing. If you'll notice, there's always some numbers. 106, that was the 6th film we did. 02028, there should be a 4 there for 84. Those are the
Okay.
dates we made the movie.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah, that's it. So,
Well,
great film.
yeah. I've always wanted to do one of those self-congratulatory commentaries. Yes, well, I think we've done one.
I think
Brian.
we've
Well
accomplished
done,
it.
Brian.
Yes, well done, Dave. Yeah.
Of course, we're busy
We're still
making
working
that
on
film,
that.
right? Yeah,
It's
that'll be out any day now.
25 years in the making. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. That's,
Well, let's hope we can get back together again sometime and
make another one.
make another one.